All right, so welcome everybody to the Right Brain and Left Brain show. So here, Doc and me for episode number 2. We have some amazing things to share with you. We have some great information to share because we always, as right brainers, we're always looking for new ideas. We're always looking for connecting things, for our health, for our growth, for our wellness. So we have a few things, and of course, this is the first episode of the year. So Happy New Year to you all. And if you're watching this in the replay, well, happy day. So
Hey,
you don't
happy
know when
day.
you're listening to this, right? But today, even if it's a new day or a morning or it's a night, tomorrow is going to be a new day. Next month is going to be a new month. This week is going to be a new week, and we have some tools and some things that we're going to discuss here that hopefully will make your life better. You can biohack and hack your life, hack your business so that you can grow faster, better, and more efficient. So, Doc, you said you wanted to talk about some frequencies that we've been talking about back and forth about how to optimize our life with using frequencies and sound and devices that I have, and you've been trying the reports that and scans that have been running for you, and you have some questions. You want to talk some more about that. So just share a little bit about your ideas on that and tell me, talk to me.
No problem, no problem. And if you're wondering what I was doing, I was pulling up the report, folks. So sometimes we're talking about stuff here, and you'll see me jump over here to my little iPad over here, and I'm just pulling up what we're talking about just to make sure I'm on the right page, because it is a lot of information when we talk about our frequencies. However, there's a breakdown which I really liked that she sent me. The first thing that she sent me that really helped me take a look at some of the things that are going on in my life and how they're affecting me. And I noticed that the notes that support the frequencies that I'm supposed to get back to, because my frequencies, let me just give you an example. Self-esteem versus self-accepting, was saying, that
I'm looking at it also here on my end.
Right.
The same one you're looking. So
right. I just want to make sure I'm saying this right, because it's looking like that the emotions that the supporting note are helping for that are guilt, helping me get out of guilt, helping me get over rejection, and helping me be more certain about love, because that's what it sounds like to me. I'm just wanting to make sure. And so it's interesting to me, every note that it says the supportive note, which that's the note I'm supposed to be giving back. Yes, because you sent me the tones too. So those notes, each of those notes that she sent me with the tones and the music that goes with it are notes and scales that I play frequently. And it's ironic because I do it on my trumpet. That's the only, if I had a French horn, I'd probably do it on the French horn. But the trumpet is the one I religiously play scales from the top of my head, knowing what key the scales are in. When I'm on the piano, sometimes I don't really know what key. When I'm on the bass, sometimes I don't know what key. I kind of know what the root note is, but I don't really know what every single note is on the bass, but I can hear it because I know every single note on another instrument. And some of the major notes I play, the most are those notes. So, and that's usually when I'm improvising. I like falling into a certain key when I improvise, and in those certain keys, I play those particular notes. And so it's just ironic to me, especially that the trumpet is in B flat and these notes are in C. So I even tested it with the music you gave me just to make sure that my music theory was still the same.
yeah.
Like, you got to test your music theory every once in a while.
Yeah, and it did dawn on me the same way. It was an aha moment for me when I got my own report the first time, because I realized that most of the keys of my songs were also in B flat. They were in F, and those are the tones that it frequently says you have to listen to that tone.
Okay.
And it's just natural.
Ironic.
So I think, but I discovered something interesting, because as you know, I play it, I run it every day, right?
Right.
So what I noticed is, like, I was kind of freaking out. I was like, oh, like, it's the same, like, why is it telling me the same? I don't get better. So you know what, researching a little bit more and digging a little bit deeper, I realized, you know what, I think is that we have a purpose, and the notes will repeat, not because we haven't gotten better, but because it's our life note. In fact, it's going to be like that. And that's why it's the natural key that I should play my songs. There's the natural key that you're actually improvising and feel natural improvising on the rest of your life.
Yes. Yes.
So it's something
That's
that
it.
that's what I discovered, that whatever you see there, even though it's going to change and you can improve things and you can work on some of the things that the report says, in fact, it looks like because we're here to grow on a particular thing for the rest of our lives, maybe that note and that key is never going to change. That note is never.
You got me thinking that when you said that, like that you keep looking at it every day. And I'm like, so we have to hear the note every day. We have to hear that key every day. We have to play in that key every day. We have to have that music going through us every day.
Right.
And it gets us back on our purpose.
Yes.
So that leads me back to meditation, which is now I'm starting to get where we were. Yeah. So now let's talk about that biohacking. I really want to hear how you were telling me something earlier. I really want to hear more about it. And I don't want to reveal it. I want you to reveal it.
That's so amazing because, so there's different things, right? There's frequencies, like different kind of binaural frequencies you can listen to. Binaural is like when two beats are playing at the same time. Then you have a tone. Then you have beats, like those binaural beats, those are beats. Then you have the actual sound.
So there's rhythm then too, because rhythm it's just sound sped up. It's still a actual tone. So
tone, that's right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, it sounds like we are actually supposed to be like physically be in the presence of these sounds to actually help us be optimal and optimize our productivity, our mental capacity, our speech, our thought process, and also fix and improve our health. So it's really so interesting. So for example, I've been doing something when I do meditation. I actually have a singing bowl, not a singing bowl, but a little Tibetan bowl. I have a little Tibetan bowl, like very tiny. I'll show you. It's very tiny.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna turn this light off.
Yeah, I'm just going away from the screen, but here it is.
I turned the light off. That was in my eye.
I'm bringing the instrument. So I have this Tibetan bowl, little tiny one.
I like it.
And before my meditation, I do play it. Almost to condition myself, like, okay, brain, body, this is my meditation time.
And what note is that, by the way?
And sometimes, what key?
What key note was that, by the way?
I don't know what key is this
it
one.
Sounded like C? No, B flat, B flat, B flat. Yeah. Or is it A?
It should be A.
It could be A.
Yeah, it's an A.
So it's G.
G.
Oh, excuse me. No. That would be, it'd be G.
G.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I play this.
I just pick up a trumpet. Look at us, right brainers. Go ahead.
Sometimes I play this one.
Same note, octave higher.
And then this one is a real Tibetan bell from Tibet. That this is the only like sacred bell that's allowed, like it's from there. No.
Ooh, that's a different tone. That sounds like the tone that you were. Ooh. So wait. So all those are notes that resonate with yours.
It just happens to be the things, the instruments I have. It just happens to be okay. And nothing.
No,
but I just play.
Not happens. You rung them before and you heard them and the tone resonated with you.
No, but I just bought it. I didn't specifically bought this with a particular tone. I just went to the store and got this. It wasn't like something I picked.
Oh, you didn't play it when you were in the store, like just to hear it?
You just buy whatever it is, and I didn't.
Oh, okay. That's funny. It's funny.
I just I want it. I buy it. Same thing. This one is the only one, but it's interesting. So I do play those tones before the meditation so that I can get my brain into that state of mind. And so I condition myself that under that tone, this is okay, now I'm going to meditate. And it's the same thing when I do yoga. My yoga teacher also plays certain things. He plays some songs. There's a really beautiful meditation that, or a song that he plays is, uh, it goes, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And it's around, and then it's got all the harmonics, okay?
Right.
And it's beautiful. And he plays that at the beginning or at the end, and then we're doing the yoga, and it's just like bliss. So I love it. And it's interesting. We need that music, that sound, um, the vibration of the house. Everything is frequency. You know, love is frequency. But I'll tell you, we had a meeting with Hugh Hilton on Friday for 3 hours.
Yes, you told me about that. Yeah.
Incredible. And you know, he was saying that he had this friend that got struck by lightning twice in his head, and he is enlightened because yeah, lightning,
Yeah, he told us about that at Mega. Yeah,
right?
but I'd love to hear more.
Yeah. And he said that he asked him, what is our purpose here on this earth? And the guy said, you know, our purpose to here is to really live joy. That joy is our purpose. Joy is our purpose. So he said that Friday. And then I had the class with Jay Shetty on Sunday. And this is a question I'm going to ask you. So he said, Jay Shetty's class said, you know what? Think about a word, a feeling that you had in your worst moment in your life or in your multiple worst moments of your life. What is that feeling? So think about that word. So for the audience listening, you know, think about that word of your worst moment of your life. And in mine was, it resonated, my worst moments, I always feel like deep sadness. Sadness was the feeling. And then he said, okay, now think about the word for the happiest, successful moment. Like, what is it that you feel? What one word, if you could describe it with one word, what would you say? And my word was, yeah, I'm like even just December on stage, mega, that was joy. I was like, it's like super joyful,
Wow.
like super ecstatic, super like bliss, joyful, 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 super happy.
Wow.
And then he said, well, guess what? The purpose in life, and this is from Jay Shetty on Sunday after Hugh Hilton said that on Friday, said, is to take everybody that you meet, everybody that you talk to, everybody that you help in business from sadness, take them to the path to joy.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's just really, really profound. That's why I wanted to ask you, like, what is, if you could name that word in your worst moment, maybe at war, maybe in pain from health issues or alone or broke.
I'm definitely gonna say it's positivity. It's weird, really weird. It has to do with this happiness. It does. It's the one thing. I mean, that's what drives. That's my driving force. The positivity. The smile on my face.
So
That always takes me to the next level. Yeah.
positivity, and then from which feeling? So what is the opposite feeling? The low feeling.
The low feeling.
Yeah, the low word.
Uh,
The word
it's
that describes your lowest moments.
just I would say more depression and despair. Yeah.
Fair, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
interesting because that also determines the audience. You see?
Wow. But see, that puts me back in the triangle, which we spoke about before.
Interesting, huh? So
The
but the
savior, aggressor, victim triangle.
victim triangle. But then it's interesting that so now you know that you can best help the people in despair, in depression. I can best help the people in sadness, which is different.
Mm.
And take them from the sadness of maybe getting their business to more, if I'm coaching them on business, I will take them to the sadness like I'm not making enough money in my business, to make the joy of feeling that their business is successful, for
and
example.
and And I'm the one
Right.
who takes them from that feeling of I can't make it in my business to yes, I can do whatever I want to do positively because as long as yeah, I get it
Very
now.
different.
Yes.
Very different. So you are here to take the people from the path to despair and depression to positivity. And I'm here to take them from sadness to joy. So, and we all have this. And that was profound. And so the tones may help us like get into that path, get the tools to that path, puts us in an optimal way to then take them to that path from to the other place.
Wow. Wow.
And talk to me, talk to me.
Well, it digs deeper when they start to say those tones put us in that path. And I look at the opposite side of that because as we're giving out, we need that reciprocal energy coming back in some kind of way. And does that mean that because those are our points, does that also mean we need people giving us that particular motivation out of despair and depression and out of sadness to get us back to our point so that we generate the positivity and the joy,
Yes.
and so it's just the cycle that we talk about when we talk about coaching. You need a coach. Why do we need a coach? Because the coach is the one doing that cycle with us as well. That mentor is the one doing that cycle. That sponsor is the one doing that cycle. And that people in the community who are enjoying what the energy we're putting out to them and giving it back. So it's like, wow. That's why I was like, wow. Just
It's an aha moment. Look, I was crying on Sunday. I was like, wow, like this is so profound. But because you're right, when we do that, we find our path and we actually find our joy. The
yes.
more we do it, and we have to do it, the more we find that joy, and the more it's like it just multiplies. It multiplies for us, and it becomes a vicious cycle. And then we just want more and more, and we want more of that.
Yes. Yes. And we feed off of it.
And
Yeah.
and that's and then that's why, for example, sometimes you were saying, talking about the triangle, right? Like not being a victim, not being the aggressor, and not being
Savior.
the savior, right? Not being in any of those three. And then we see, yeah, but we get people that come to us in a particular condition, right? Then what do we
how,
do?
how do we meet them where they're at if we can't be any of the three?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then, and the answer is in that positivity. You're not supposed to be any of it.
Just
Just
supposed to be positive.
inject positivity. That's the answer. Your way is positivity. My thing is joy, like silly and jumping and saying something fun and something, putting them in a dance mode, or whatever.
So instead of falling back in the triangle, staying outside of the triangle by just projecting that and their energy.
That positivity that you're best at.
Wow.
I think.
Which feels okay, and I'm gonna say this only because I'm a woo, winning others over, that winning others over the shadow side we talk about, because we don't say your strengths have weaknesses. The strengths have a shadow side, like communicating. I talk a lot. So, I might be on the stage and example might be on the stage, J2 tries talking, I'm talking under him, so, and I'm making little jokes, but sometimes that might annoy him, sometimes it might not, sometimes he might like it, you never know. I'll get a message if he likes it or not. So but on the other end, the shadow side of woo is people don't, if they feel like I'm shallow, I'm come to meet people and I can be positive, but if I don't sit down with them long enough and really connect with them and get some of that inner, I'm a little shallow to a lot of people, or I can be considered shallow. I don't want to say I am, I can be considered shallow. And that's what I like the depth.
Yeah, you're perceived as all this positivity. It can't be. It's not real. Yeah, it's not real. That's yeah. It could be perceived that way, but that's if you. But if then this is the same thing like our coach says. Just address the objections straight up. Head on.
And
If
then that
that's
cuts the anger down the
exactly because
line
I
where I
know
end
I'm
up,
gonna say
oh wow.
something. Yeah, I'm gonna say something that's positive, but you know what? You're gonna think after an hour of me being positive that I'm shallow, but you know what? This is me. This is the real me. I want you to get this contagious positivity to positivity, and you'll see.
Yes.
And I can understand that. Yeah, a lot of people I have the perception of arrogance. Some people, like I've heard people saying, maybe, it could be perceived as arrogant, but no, I just want to help. To everything that I know, I want to tell you, I want to share.
Yeah.
And so if we address that from the get-go, from the beginning, then we can. um,
And I know exactly what you're talking about because I watched you go through something and I was like, he thinks she's being arrogant when he doesn't get it that she's trying to tell him the facts, and yeah, we get that. People think that yeah. And it's just, they don't know how much you care until they know how much you care.
yeah,
That's what it really boils down to.
and probably because the majority of people are not like us, that are here, very open, very clear, very fearless. We are fearless. We are right brainers. So we speak our minds. We want to go from one line to the other, and we're just out there. Our hearts are open,
Yes.
and we have developed a sense of confidence and a sense and our experience itself in life has given us this confidence that people are not used to in a normal life.
Yeah.
And so when they get in contact with us, they're like, oh, maybe it's not real, maybe it's arrogance, maybe, but who is that person, like what is she, who is he? So but no, it's a true honest way. We just hear, that's why we're making this show, so people can see that right brainers can also have successful businesses, run something, because we have control and we have a way to direct our strengths
Yes.
as right brainers to the right path for success for us and for everybody that we encounter.
Yeah. And I guess it's good though too, because even in that sense, if it's not perceived the right way, like you said, when we overcome those objections by putting information out there to let people know that we are going through different things or we are dealing with different things, and so it's not exactly that positive, it's not that much joy, like, okay, for instance, I've watched people go through the same thing. Somebody I'm working with, she's super positive all the time. And I'm sure, some people see her as a facade in it. But at the same time, a lot of people have grown to know her and realize that that's just her. And on the other end, you've had some people hate on her and send messages around and not even understand. And then on the same sense, somebody else, same thing happened on the joy side. Matter of fact, I even thought that about this person because their nickname is kind of Joy. And I felt like it was too much joy. There's no way they can be that joyous.
Mm-hmm.
And other people really slandered her big time, but she grew and she's still growing and she's still spreading joy. And so to me, I'm just like, wow, it's interesting when I see both of these people, the positive one and the joy, that one full of joy, still grow, still maintain their joy, and still flourish themselves, not just grow in audience and community, but flourish themselves inside.
Yeah.
And that's because they must be hitting their right tone, their right frequency.
Yeah, and that is also like it feeds from itself, right? Like the more joy you give, the more joy you receive, the more positive things you give, the more positive you receive. And I think it just feeds on itself, right? There was a songwriting coach, Judy Stakey, and she was saying, you know what, we should be like a glass of milk, that what we give to others is not that we fill up the glass and we share the glass. We fill the glass of milk, and when the glass overflows, that's what we give. And I think for the joyous and the positive people, we have this positivity and the joy, and we're just filling our life with that, and it just overflows and overflows, and we don't have to refill because we're giving what overflows, as opposed to giving and then having to stop and refill.
I like that.
Right.
And I mean, we only have to refill when we run out. I mean, because sometimes we overflow and then we run out. And then
Shouldn't,
then
but
we
we should,
refill, but it's not as
we should
much.
be, because our task is not to give. Our task is to refill all the
Fill.
time. So you will
Oh,
never run out because you're always refilling and it's
refilling.
always overflowing, as opposed to sharing. You're not. you're always filling. We are always learning from our coaches. We're always listening
Yeah,
to
that's true.
videos. We're always feeding so that it overflows. We never have to worry about refilling, because that's what we're doing constantly, and that's the only way we can give. If we give the other way, where we some time to fill, some time to give, it doesn't work.
I
You
just
run out.
noticed that it has been different. I have been different in that process. Like my sister and I talk about this all the time because she's on that thought process as well of thinking higher and a right brainer, of course. And wow, we talked about balancing and balancing how much we give and recharging. We have this thing that we've been talking about for years about recharging and renewing, and it's like a 3-word phrase: recharge, renew, and I forgot what the other one was, but she has one and I switch it and she switches it, so we kind of just we'll throw in a new word here and there. But it's just interesting to realize that that was 2016, 2017, 2013, 2014. Let's say 2013 to 2018. Since 2019, 2020, I think I've been filling my bucket a lot more. And even though, yeah, 2017 and 2018, I was filling my bucket, there was still those gaps in there. 2019, I was really filling my bucket. And in 2020, I had no choice but to fill my bucket. And yeah, I mean, we got, you know, the wonderful world of the Fox family, to really continue to fill my bucket. And so I'm just now noticing in 2022 that most of 2021 I have been fully charged. And that's why I didn't have to sleep. I only slept maybe 5, 6 hours of Mega Success
Mm.
the whole time.
Yep.
That's not good, but I didn't have to.
Yeah,
I
because
could just
we're feeding
relax.
from the prana of all the energy of everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it wasn't good for my body physically on the last couple of days when I crashed out and then got a sinus um, cold that turned into bronchitis. But you know, but hey, that whole week was really powerful enough to keep me going. And I think those last 2 days, I was relaxing a little bit too much. I wasn't filling my bucket anymore. I was, oh, I'll just relax. And that's when I got started to not necessarily, I don't know if I got sick that day, but the last day I felt like I was getting sick on the way home.
Yeah, and
And
it's important to just be on it, to be just really overflowing our cup all the time, to make sure that we don't have to stop and refill. Because if the
hmm,
moment we have to stop and refill, like taking a break because we got sick, uh, resting a few more hours because we got too tired, that's the moment we went to giving too much of
yes,
ourselves to something, and this is a sign, right? And I think the biohacking helps us keep us in check, like with these reports. It just tells you, like if I look at the one I sent you, right? This is like several days, many days ago. The first one is to play the note A, for
hmm,
low self-esteem versus self-accepting. Doesn't mean that you have low self-esteem, but it means that you need to do more self-accepting, right? But it's just a reminder itself. And if you just have that report that reminds you, what am I doing today that where I can self-accept myself a little more than yesterday, just a little more. It doesn't have to be that you're perfect, but how can I accept myself a little more? Can I just, what, I'm going to rest, like today, I just needed to take a little nap in the morning after,
yes,
because I woke up at 2. So, yeah, so just accept it. Maybe I didn't sleep completely, but just I rested my body. Now I feel recharged. So just listen, and that's okay. Accept that I'm not going to be on all the time, like for example, rigid beliefs versus open to possibilities, there was a little bit off there. So what, and that shows up in mine too, as well,
hmm,
often the A sharp often shows in mine as well. And then I question, like, especially as a coach, right? We listen to stories and business
it's a
issues,
C.
And so, yeah, so what
B
do
flat, should I say? It's a B flat. So I know it's an A sharp, but it's a B flat.
yeah, it's a B flat. And so what is it that we have, that we are being rigid, not by judging our clients or judging the situation? How can we be more compassionate, just a little more? It doesn't have to be like we're now perfect beings, but how can we improve, right?
And that's so interesting because concert B flat is one of the major notes that everybody hears it all the time, and we don't know it. And that takes me. I know you're going to jump to a next section, but I want to slide this little bit in there.
Yeah.
Music and light are the same thing.
Yeah.
The light that created us, the light that generates in us. It's like we have to be a part of those tones, and we have to either find that tone to live in the light, which is interesting because living in the light is a religious statement,
Right.
but living in the light is actually living in the frequency.
Right, in that particular frequency. And believe it or not, so that B flat is the same key that of the song that I composed last year from the clubhouse room. My message and my test is your testimony, and your test is your testimony. Your message, your message, and your test is your testimony. That's the song, and it's in B flat. And I'm like, wow. And then the whole year, like the whole frequency is showing the same color, the same note, the same note. I'm like, that's the note. So I have to just release that song in that key. That's the one. It will be the one song. So it's interesting, right? And we have to be in alignment with the light, with the vibration that we're supposed to be in harmony with, to be optimal. It's almost like if we're misaligned, then the light doesn't flow through.
And concert B flat is one of the happiest.
Is it really?
Well, because if you look at it, most of the happiest songs are played in the key of C.
Yeah.
And it's generally has that concert B flat feel. Well, I don't want to say the key of C, but it just has this concert. It has this. You kind of start with this basic note that B flat is in there, but even in the key of C, even though in the key of C it doesn't have, it's all naturals. Every once in a while, when you throw a B flat in there, it turns this tone to it. Just something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I like feeling little off tones in there. But that throwing a B flat in the middle of a C kind of gives you a different feeling, or maybe that's the bluesy side that I'm feeling all the time.
It uplifts you like this.
Yeah.
It gives you an oomph, right?
Yeah, because it's a flat third to flat seventh. So, and so, yeah, that would be the B flat. So B flat, the key of B flat for blues.
Yeah. So it's just fascinating. So it's really interesting. Like, so if we, so biohacking with frequencies, like running this machine that I have, this Solex machine. This is the machine, and Hugh had the machine, had the same machine. He's like, he's playing and I'm playing it. Yeah, so it's really interesting to really run the reports daily. I was running it with Maria here as well. We were running it every day, and just running. And I think that's why we didn't get sick that much, because we were running the frequencies every day. We didn't really get sick.
That's true too. I mean, if you're actually, your body's stronger, your antibodies are fighting, everything's in alignment. That's the major thing. Everything becomes in alignment.
You're optimizing the frequencies by listening to it and optimizing frequency, optimizing every day. So you can. I think that's the interesting about that is about reflecting. So if you don't have a machine, if you don't have a thing that evaluates you every day, are you reflecting? Are we reflecting every day on our best effort? Are we reflecting, what did we do wrong? What worked? What didn't work? What can we do more of? How can we do more of what worked? How can we remove the things that didn't work? And what are the sacrifices that we're going to do tomorrow to do more of the things that worked and to do less of the things that didn't work?
Yes.
So those are interesting questions, right? And if you reflect every day, you go to bed like, I didn't give my best effort today. Well, tomorrow I'm going to try better. And it's just another day. just take it like JT was saying, you know, it's not a yearly resolution, it's a daily resolution.
It's a daily resolution. Yes.
So
Yes.
reflect every day, we advance every day. If we reflect once a week, you know, it's not as likely as if we do it every day. So, but if we don't do it, fine. Try to do it weekly. Try to do it monthly, and just really, as they say, that a life not reflected upon is a life not worth living, right?
Yep.
So, if we
Then
do
you're not
that,
thinking about the future. You're only thinking about today.
yeah,
If you get lost in today, you're never going to grow.
yeah. So just reflect. So this is the same thing. We evaluate, but we can only evaluate if we actually set parameters or measure
Yes.
quantitative.
Smart goals. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
we have to be able to measure. We have to measure, be able to track, and we have to be able to compare the yesterday with today. So I have my effort chart that I run every day. So let me show you, for example. Yeah, for example here, right? Oh, so for example, this is the daily effort tracker. So let me see. There you go. It's January.
Okay.
And then I have it for
So
everything.
it tracks your effort in achieving. Oh wait, it's a different app. I
No,
thought it was on
no,
the
it's just
actual.
a document, and I just
Yeah.
draw on it. You know, you know,
It's like, eh.
I have my numbers, and then I just draw on it. I have
Nice.
this thing for my clients and for me, and then I have it for 6 months, and then I have another page for 6 months in my phone, and then I just draw on it. Simple. You don't need an app. You don't need nothing, right? And the same thing for the daily mood. So I log what is my mood for the day. So I
Okay.
have from January to all the different days to the 30 days. Oh, there
And
it is.
you're measuring the differences
And
in
just
your mood
color.
each and every day.
Yeah, I color it, and then at the end of the year, I see.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? You know, and that's like it's just like JT says. Like if you have 52 days that are good, you may be a millionaire.
That's funny because I have a sleep app,
Yeah.
and that's part of the things that I do. And each night, like in the sleep app, when I pop it up, but it doesn't focus right. But each night in the sleep app, it's called Sleep Cycle. I
Mhm.
have Sleep Cycle and
Oh,
Life
I have
Cycle.
it. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, yeah. And each night when I wake up, in the morning when I wake up, it tracks my mood when I wake up.
That's
It
right.
also tracks my,
Yeah.
what I did last night. So I type in, whether or not I slept early or whether or not I was feeling good or
Yeah.
and these things
And
I've been tracking every year. And then in the
yeah,
life
yeah.
cycle, it tracks where I've been going. And so between looking at my life cycle and the sleep cycle together, I've been comparing how my mood has been shifting according to where I've been going, what I'm doing, what energy I'm giving, and be honest with you, Mega Success was like the best aligned energy, even though I got sick afterwards, but it was the best aligned energy. It was, I felt as I told as I told JT, the beast is back. That's probably why he said, oh, I don't know what the heck he says it is.
Yeah. No, it's
Do
good.
you
Yeah, Sleep Cycle is a great app. Actually, it's my favorite app for sleep, and it's actually the best app for sleeping and waking up because it really wakes you up in that really the real time and tracking how is your mood before and after and what did you do if you ate late. I know that app very well.
ate
And
late? I forgot about that. That's ate late because I
ate
don't do the
late.
ate late
Yeah, and
because
that's the fact. So now you learn, okay, when I eat late, I don't sleep well, I don't recover, so I'm not gonna eat late. So you learn you're by analyzing the data that we collect on these apps. Same thing. Like this is a sample of my last year 2021 effort. But if you can see here, like it was like up and down, and then all of a sudden
yeah.
yoga. And I just like this
What?
what I wrote, like the whole 2 months
Yoga.
yoga. Basically, it was like bliss, yoga in my life, and JT. I wrote yoga, JT,
JT.
and it was just top.
What was that month?
This is May. May is when yoga came like strong, and
And
then
you had top one in May, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what wrote. Yeah, I had
Make a profit. Make a profit. That's what it was. Make a profit.
what
Yeah.
it was. And so yoga JT, and it was just like effort was like off the charts. I didn't even write it because it was just off the charts. So it's interesting to see, that. And then the mood, oh my God, the mood was not good, but you can see
Oh wow.
crazy stuff. But basically the purple means productive, and
Mhm.
pink means content, and everything else is stress and what, yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
green is like sick or sad. So it just changes, right? So it's
Got you.
interesting. It's interesting.
It
And
is interesting. Yeah, to see where our mindset is so that we can help improve our mindset. And well, I'm learning a lot here, and not just that, not just learning a lot about how we interact with each other as human beings, but learning a lot about our personal um, blockage or permafrost, should I say? Because how we connect as human beings has to do with how we let go of those little things, and it's interesting hearing from you those days and seeing on your chart, the days you were sad. And, I mean, and I know other people probably have the same. Well, she was sad a number amount of days that year, but she still pushed through. She still did a lot, and they may have been sad a lot of days that year and they didn't do. And so
yeah,
seeing that and seeing someone else, it's motivational.
yeah.
It brings back that joy as we talked about
Yeah,
before.
yeah. You don't want, like, for example, me, I really don't want to be in the sadness state. I don't.
Yeah.
But, sometimes I do get in the sadness. I mean, sometimes things happen, it makes me sad, and I don't want to be in that state. I try to change. I remember growing up with my family, and I don't know if my family knows this or I've talked to them, talked with friends about it, but I used to cry every single freaking day living with my parents. I remember leaving my parents' home when I decided to leave, and I told myself, I don't want to live anymore in a place where I cry every single day. I can't remember when was a day that I did not cry. That was not good, and I'm like, I did need to change this. So I changed. I left. I literally left, ran away, and I went, and I was not crying anymore.
You were
And then,
living.
yeah, and then before going to, of course, during cancer, it was hard. I had my family was visiting, which is not fun either. And of course, after it was a period from 2004, and I left for Paris in 2014. And by 2014, I was in that mode again of crying because I wasn't happy with my life. It was great. I had lots of success with my software company that I was working for. My property had gone. Actually, I think it yeah it what was it? I was doing the numbers the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, I got confused. I sold it for 400% of the value, um, of the original value. So my property had gained, I had lots of equity. I had my luxury car, my German car, my things. I had a great life, my dancing life, my singing life. But I was still not, it felt lonely. I felt empty. I felt like I didn't have anybody to share with, nobody to celebrate that I just sang as a soloist in with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, that I sang in Boston Pops in
Nice.
Boston Symphony Hall, and nobody to share with, just alone. Everybody had their family, everyone had their family, their thing, their stuff to go back to, and I had my cat. So I'm like, this is
No,
terrible. This is
I
not
know the
life.
feeling. I know the feeling.
I don't want to go back
I,
to my
at
cat.
least you had a cat.
I I love my cat. Believe me, that cat was my lifeline. I
Yeah.
actually knew that my cat kept me alive. My cat was like my lifeline, and it was the only thing. Like I'm going back to my cat, and she's happy to see me. I'm like, ah, somebody, but back to bed and nothing to celebrate. Nobody and nobody to wait, nothing. And that was, and I was sad. And when I moved to Paris, that changed. I had joy, super joy every single day. I had peace and I had joy.
Hmm.
And for years, I did not cry. like 6 years that I was there, like, from 2014 to 2000, and I moved back in 2020, January 2020. I I started crying with my breakup over there, but until 2018, I did not cry like that. I did not. I did not. I cried when my cat died. I tell you that. Like that was hard. My cat died
What was the most painful thing that you can remember that caused you that sadness?
in Paris.
Yeah.
I think the most painful thing um, was losing my relationship with my partner, with my boyfriend. Yeah. What the pain part of it is that there was nothing he can do to change the circumstances for me to be accepted. I think um, I was rejected for everything that I have experienced, for the way I look, and everything that I stand for, even being entrepreneur, even being an American, having a tattoo, surviving cancer, surviving divorce, everything, and not being um, that my lover was not fighting for that, fighting for just staying with me. Yeah, just basically, yeah, not fighting for being with me because his family would not accept me because of all that. That was really, really painful. Because, and the reason I was sad is because I was really happy with him. Like there was no, we had a very harmonious, peaceful life. The communication was great. The life was harmonious. He understood JT. We were going to JT's events. Everything was good. Sex life, everything was really in harmony. Our nutrition was really in alignment. We're both the same blood type. We were, eating both, focused on our health. Training, I was training triathlons with him. He's a black belt in taekwondo. So health was really important for both. The harmony in house was important for both. So we're both very clean. Everything was good, and of course, it's a French boyfriend, so you got the romantic. The man is the one telling like, "Let's go for a picnic," and it's like this whole like French man is real. They do exist. It is not fake. It's a real thing that the Frenchmen are like extremely romantic, and it's just heaven. So losing that because of that, uh, because of my identity, because of the place where I had put my identity was really painful. I just wanted it back. I wanted my happiness. I wanted my harmony there. I wanted what I had, like the company, the laugh. We would laugh every night together. We'd go together, the companion, like just I had everything I needed. I just was growing my business, and so
What's the most powerful tool or technique that you've used to kind of gain strength from that time and turn it around for you, turn that energy back to joy for you for now?
well, no question about it, getting a coach. No question about it. Like I had a mentor, I had a spiritual mentor that helped me see the situation from a spiritual side. You can say that she was a coach. I didn't pay her, but yeah, she was the director of the Black music school, they call it there, but it's like African American music school, but she's very spiritual. And she helped me realize that I had placed my identity in the things that I had lived and how I look, and not in something beyond. That I am beyond all that. That's not what I am supposed to be loved for. And also play, help me understand, the coaches and the mentors help me understand that I just have to let go. I just let go and let God, like they say, let go, let God. That's a very interesting expression, but it is true. Just let go and just is the detachment, really. They help me understand detachment. And because I had JT, to for a class to go or an event to focus, because I had the choir where I had to go to rehearsal that got me out of the house, or had a client to have a meeting, because I had that, then that helped me get out of that depression or sadness of that loss. And when you have a loss of anything, a person, a job, a business, when you have a loss, it's almost like you lose part of you because you've identified part of you is goes with it.
It's grief.
It's grief, and did you lose something? And that there's part of you that is in a particular way with that thing that goes away, and now you're
Exactly.
not having it. So who are you now without it? And so she helped me, the spiritual mentor helped me understand that, that I am without it. I am full and I am complete without it. And the tools I got coach, I focused on JT's more, the lessons, the wealth workout. I was doing my routine helped me, right? Like my routine, but the routine is not there unless I had a coach that told me like this is a routine that works, right? So I had JT, I had the director from the choir, I'd also had a similar situation where he's gay, and he had I think it was like 15 years with a loving relationship, and the parents also were from a different, they're Christians but from a different denomination or something. They didn't want to be, so it's the same thing. It was like a separation because of not acceptance of, and they had to separate again. And it's just, and he helped me, he just helped me understand that. It was I remember it was like June 21st, the solstice of the summer of 18, and he's like, it's okay, girl, like it's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, so the mentors, the teachers, those are the tools. And without people, doc, without people, without us, without you here on the other Zoom, we are lost. Really, we
Yeah.
need people.
We need people.
We need people. We need the audience to listen. We need to share our things, and so that people can find those tools. And we are there to help others. With the experience that we've gained, we have tools, we have knowledge, we have wisdom, and we also use these other people. I talk to you and I get inspired. I hear you on Clubhouse and I get inspired. The way you speak, you motivate me to be better as a speaker.
Thank you.
And I see JT and he motivates me, and I listen to the classes, and we listen to Hugh Hilton and then Fred and everybody at Mega, and Alex Clark. He's amazing. So I just, being people, coaches, mentors, successful business people, people that are more successful than us, definitely are the best tool, I think, for anybody to
You're
get
right.
out.
I think you're so right. I mean, one of those things that I realized from this whole conversation, it's not a realization completely from the conversation, but it's really connecting to that time in my life, the reason why I lost it all and the reason why I gave it all up. And it was because, like you were saying, I was in that zone where I wasn't really connecting fully with people or having someone where I was connecting with. I was doing all this stuff. I was successful in an area of entertainment. I did date someone, but I lost that relationship, within in the process. And throughout that time, I really wasn't bouncing my ideas off my business partner anymore, because maybe because I felt like when he pitched him, it just wasn't good for him to pitch him and I should be pitching him. And so I was pushing myself away from my business partner at the time as well. And to the point of where I felt like, maybe I should do this all by myself, and that was the wrong thing. And even though I never did do it all by myself, because there's no way I could do it by myself, I put myself in this depressive state, thinking that I would never become successful because I just couldn't get it right or something, and it was all about me pushing myself away from people, me not accepting the fact that I needed more people, even if it was bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And me not living in my frequency, because my frequency was saying, I need to be that positivity to people.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was being, who knows what I was being. I don't even know the right word for this. I was angry. I was depressed. I felt like I was in the midst of despair. I felt like all kind of emotions. You know, victim. I was a victim. You know, all these things that were going through me at that time, and it was all because I didn't see the light. I
But
wasn't living in the light.
But it's in the darkness where we find the jewels. It's in dig. We talked about that. We like when we deep down in the dirt is where we find the jewels. So that's the
Yes.
great thing, that you had to go through despair, through depression to see where is the light. You say, oh, okay, if I dig down deeper, I think it's not the way, But you
Yeah.
find a jewel, that you come out of there with that jewel. You don't come out of that dirt or that darkness without the gem. And then you can take that gem out to the top of the mountain and shine it up right from there.
You know, that is very interesting because when I was on Skid Row, at my lowest point on Skid Row, I started to reconnect with people again. Didn't even dawn on me till just now. Now, that was something that woke up, light bulb that just came on. That's when I started to say, I need people, and didn't think I needed people, but just I started connecting with people again. And then I woke up one day and said, why am I on Skid Row? And this is only 6 months. By this point, I had spent a year of spending all my money. And then after a year of spending all my money and getting evicted from my apartment, and then getting thrown out of a good friend's apartment by his mother, because that's how I went down the scale. I lived on Skid Row. And then 6 months after that, I'm waking up like, what am I doing? And it was the connection to people again, me allowing myself to let people in again, that really opened me up to see that I needed to be doing something else. No matter what it was, I needed to be not on Skid Row. I needed to be not depressed. I needed to be not in despair. I needed to be out giving back to people.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when I started my journey. And even though people didn't know how much I cared, I'm thinking about it because I tried to help somebody right off, 3 or 4 people right off of Skid Row. And 2 of them told me they did not want to leave,
Mm.
that this is their life, that this is what they're comfortable with. And this is how they see the rest of their life. They're they're good at what they do on the street. They can't get anything else outside of there because of their past. And this is the way life just is.
And that's very interesting that you say that because I think coming from Venezuela, I wouldn't have left unless I had seen something else. And a lot of people cannot have not seen the light, the optimal frequency, have not vibrated in that frequency ever. So how can they even imagine that they can if they haven't seen it? And that's why the YouTube and Instagram and Clubhouse is great because other people that are there can hear our stories, can see it in us, and can see the example. And my definitely people that are in Venezuela definitely follow me that I don't even know. And I know if I look in my Instagram, the population, it says that a lot of people, it's like a third from Venezuela. So I know there are people looking up to me from Venezuela. They have never lived in London like I lived. They never lived in San Francisco like I lived, But when I was
Right.
there, I already had lived abroad. So I knew the difference. I knew that there was a different thing out there that I can tap into, a different kind of success, while the people inside never seen that kind of success, never seen the abundance that they can have. They were thinking, no, how can you even, like, I remember my first boss, and she's gonna kill me for saying this when she listens to this, but my first boss, I remember when I said, I'm gonna sell a coaching program or something for 250. I'm like, who's gonna pay for that? People pay 250 for a course, and this is the limiting because people in Venezuela wouldn't pay, but they wouldn't have this amount of money, right, to pay 250. How can you even say No, I said, people are selling them for 2,000. And she's like, no, how can people even buy it? That's all, it's all a lie. It's not real, you know? And, so it's just because, and I realized, she's not living outside. She can't understand that this is really, really happening.
Yeah.
And, and even though there's, trained, well prepared, professional, and the top of the companies there, they still cannot see the growth that they can have when they're abroad, when they're in a place where we are. We have the opportunities of a lifetime with JT, the founders, this network of investors that we belong to, that if we could never imagine that we would have access to this kind of growth, this kind of wealth, but we only see it now that we have access to this. A person in Venezuela would never imagine. They would think that it's fake.
Yes.
They would think that it's fake, that it's not real.
There's people in LA that would think that was fake too. I
Exactly.
mean, it's that limiting belief. It's that, yeah, we've all been told that we can do whatever we wanted to do in life. But how many of us actually believe that? That's the problem. We see other people do it, but we don't believe we can. And I'm here to tell you that even though sometimes I don't believe I can, I know that I've done everything that I've set my mind out to do.
Yeah.
Since I was a child. Every plan and act gone. And it's only because I've looked back and go, well, I said I was going to do this. Didn't look at all like I said it was going to be, but I said I was going to do it and I did it. And that thought process right there, if we can just take a look back and look at the things that we said we wanted to do and said we were going to do and wrote them down. And like you said, it's measurable, keeping track. If we're keeping track of the things that we say we want to do, and when we accomplish doing them, then we see our growth. We get more self-efficacy in the things that we do and say, okay, yeah, I can do more of it. And our confidence level just goes through the roof. And when our confidence level goes through the roof, our growth, our gains, our acceptance, our community, our ability to do more goes through the roof.
Exactly. Confidence is definitely a tool that will get you anything that you want. It's confidence that gets you a deal. It's confidence that gets you the best coach. It's confidence that gets you the lover. It's confidence that gets you a friend. It's confidence that gets you a better apartment, to be chosen
Yes.
from a multiple people that maybe you're renting or you're buying, to be chosen. Who are they going to choose? They choose by people. Sure, you can have money, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't exude that confidence, it's so important.
And,
Confidence is absolutely key.
and
Absolutely.
confidence is what gives us self-efficacy. So if you don't think you can do something,
Yeah.
get confident about doing it. That's how you get there. And so it's our confidence that starts it. People are like, oh, what should you have first, self-efficacy or confidence? Well, you got to have the confidence before you can get the self-efficacy,
Yeah.
before you can believe that you can do it over and over and over again and produce better results.
Yeah,
That's what self-efficacy
JP said,
boils down to.
he lost the stutter when he got confident. The day he became confident, that he
Wow.
said, I'm going to get confident in this. I have to be confident. I have to say this. He lost the stutter. And then he realized, oh, okay, so that's it. And now
That's
you're
it.
confident. And the more wins you have, the more confident you have. The more you experience and practice confidence, the more confidence you will have, and the more success you will have, and the more advanced you go more forward you're gonna go in this every step of the way in that path from this place to the other place where you set your goals. And it's really interesting. I did a confidence challenge last year, right before the end of the year in November, by another coach. Of course, we are like inundated by coaches. I'm
Of
addicted.
course. Of course. You got to be,
And I
more
want the
coaches, the
best.
merrier.
I want once, and probably I never really said this out loud in social media, but I am following Matthew Hussey, and he did a confidence challenge,
Okay.
and I did that, and one of the things that he said was. That one of the challenges, I'm gonna challenge everybody here in the audience and anybody that listens to this after. is having a difficult conversation. Having difficult conversations gives you a lot of confidence. And you'll be surprised
Wow.
in how many, like, so set up a goal to have one difficult conversation this month. One, not even
Well,
two.
that's easy. I live off of difficult conversations. But that's a challenge to keep putting that out there, because I never realized I was doing that. So do that, folks. I mean, that's why I have so much confidence. I jump in the conversations, even when it's challenging, even when I'm stuttering, trying to get the question out, or I'm like, I got to get in there. I got to get in there. So, and so that's part of me doing that on a daily basis. And so if you can do that, then those of you who feel like you hate your voice, like I do, those of you who feel like you don't know what to say, like sometimes I do, those of you who feel afraid to say something in certain cases, like I do, will get all past all of that and won't even think about it, because you're reaching for something else. You're going for something else. You're going for the goal. But you were going to say more.
No. That's
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah. No,
You
it's
know, another thing that helped me to realize is that confidence is not just a key to success. Confidence is something that it grows in us each and every day, and it grows in us from practicing, as she was saying earlier. The more we practice something, the more we put into place something, the more we're unconsciously confident that we can do it. And so confidence starts in our subconscious. And so if we're dreaming about stuff, thinking about stuff, imprinting stuff, writing stuff down, believing we can do it, um, practicing getting in front of the mirror and telling ourselves, like the intro of Wealth Workout 5 intro, just to give y'all some insight. It's about telling yourself in the mirror, something I do every day anyway. How, I mean, giving yourself confidence by looking at yourself in the mirror and believing and telling yourself that you're going to be great, or it's going to be a great day. And so for me, that's what I do. You look great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a beautiful day today, and people wonder why I'm so positive. That's part of it too. I'm smiling in the mirror. I'm giving myself all this energy when I wake up right after brushing my teeth. I take 5 minutes and then I get dressed in that energy.
It radiates to yourself. So it's the same thing what we talked in the beginning. It's all about feeding ourselves, and the feeding ourselves kind of overflows. So if we give that confidence to ourselves, like, yes, you can do it. Like, what are you telling yourself that makes you powerful, that makes you strong, that makes you capable, that makes you lovable, that makes you loved and peaceful and decipherable, that makes you eloquent, that makes you make better decisions. So what are you telling yourself? And it's all here. And you tell it to yourself silently during the day, like, oh, I did that shit. Oh, I did this. Oh, I dropped the S word. But
It's okay.
now.
As we're all talking about that one too.
Yeah, I did this, I did that, right? So you tell yourself, but you can think about it, but you can also say it, because like talking about the frequencies, if you say it out loud with your voice, it's like a return. You hear
Yes.
your voice saying it to yourself, and then it causes something in you. I am strong. What are the affirmations that you repeat to yourself in the morning? What are the affirmations that you repeat to yourself at night?
Wow.
And I have that in my Speaky app. I have a list of affirmations for the morning and a list of affirmations for the night.
Yes.
And I do go at night. And sometimes I repeat some of the mornings in the night because I want to repeat them again. But yes, so I have a mantra. I love all dimensions of my life for this year. I delight in weaving the creative tapestry that is my life. That is my mantra for this year. I love all dimensions of my life. I delight in weaving the creative tapestry that is my life. And I'll repeat that before, when I wake up, before I go to bed, every single day. I've been doing that since the summer, when my wellness coach told me to do it, and I haven't stopped doing it. And I said, okay, what is the mantra for this year? I chose it. So what you repeat, what you say, you love your life, you love creating your life, you love deciding everything that you're going to be doing in your life. And this is all going to affect you in every decision, every communication, every interaction. and even the way you dress, the way you eat, and the way you're going to absorb the nutrients of the food that you eat, because you're going to be in a positive state that's supposed to be in a closed state.
I love
So
that.
all that is so important. Like the way we talk, the self negative talk is definitely very toxic, but it's like what you say, you know, is you have to really talk to yourself and be strong, and it's not fake it till you make it. It's like really act as if
Yes,
it's
yes.
it's
And
really
that's it. Yeah, and that's my thing about it, because I feel like it's the first step in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Everybody looks at that pyramid totally wrong. I say turn it upside down. Take Maslow's pyramid and say, no, self-actualization is the first thing we need. Because if we're doing that, if we're feeding ourselves every day, we get the self-esteem, we get the love and belonging, we get the safety needs, and we get the physiological needs, everything that we need from that. And yes, I was reading that just then, just to remember how it's said in a different way, because I don't say it that way, but I wanted to read this particular pyramid. So this particular pyramid puts it in a different light of, you know, like I said, self-actualization, esteem, love and belonging, safety needs, and physiological needs. Everybody's starting with the physiological needs. Oh, I got to go get a job. I got to go get a house. I got to go put food on table. No. Do you believe that the job you're going to get is where you should be? Do you believe that you should be making more money? Do you believe that you should be living in a bigger place? Do you believe that you should be doing greater things? If you don't believe that yet, then walking out the door to go get a job is going to be futile, because you're not going to get the job you want. You're going to get something else. And it's not going to take care of all the other needs down the line.
yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I think this is the best way to connect it, is what we've been talking about today, our frequencies, aligning ourselves, and understanding how we balance ourselves through life. It all connects to me.
So bottom line is knowing yourself, knowing more about you, knowing more about how you're built, how your brain functions, yourself, your unique self. How are you supposed to speak that you feel that is the way you feel natural? Knowing that, you're going to be the best that you can be, and you're going to make the best decisions, get the right job, get the right money for the life that you want and deserve, because that optimizing everything that nourishes your body, your mind, and your soul is exactly what you need to do first to go out there and then interact with people. And then once you figure that out, for example, what we talked at the beginning, you know, the purpose. Oh, I know now. I know that I need to take people from sadness to joy. Then I know how to talk to people. I know that what my emphasis is going to be on marketing, because when I say that, for me, only for me, it's going to work, because the energy and the manifesting, whatever you call it, I know JT's not going to like that, but it's going to favor that in me. And for you, it's going to favor something else different. You know, it's like, you know, sharing with a person that has a different blood type, and nutrition is different. You have to make a different kind of food, a different kind of routine and regime. The same thing, when you put out there the information exactly for that is in alignment with your own self, then that's going to bring you all the abundance, so that you can actually, because the purpose is just to give. The purpose is we're here to serve. So when you find who you are, how you work best, you can give better, you can give more, and then you're going to receive more.
Yes.
So that is oh my god, we've gone through frequencies and notes
Yeah.
and confidence and a
And how
struggle
leaders must serve.
and coaches. Oh my God, we've talked about so many things, and we've gone already like over an hour, but that's okay, because there's stuff so much to say. And I think it's going to be like this every time. I don't know what we're going to do, Doc. We're going to
No
have to
worries.
split this in like 3 30-minute ones.
But that's okay. You know, I mean, because we can save some of this talk for our next one, because we're going to have more of these more of these kind of talks, because of the nature of what we are realizing we are. We are people who help people motivate to get to the next level. So these are the kind of talks we're going to be centered in, I believe, especially when we talk with different people of left brain and right brain together, because a lot of our left brainers have more of the fears that we don't. And we sometimes have a lot of the fears that they don't. And so overcoming those fears and overcoming those challenges and growing together, it's going to be breaking through all these barriers and sifting through all this stuff about now knowing ourselves, understanding ourselves, and carrying ourselves to the next level. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Understand how we can optimize and maximize our potential with
Yes.
whatever we're given. And
Optimize
yeah,
and maximize. I love those lines.
so it's really all about that and how we can help you maximize your potential, optimize your potential, and use the tools that we've been talking about. Getting coaches. Like Doc, like me, like like our coaches themselves. We can put you in contact with our network of coaches that help us with every single thing. And there's not only one person that has the right solution for everything. You may have two different business coaches that are the same for business, two different marketing coaches that have different points of view that can help you, health, wellness coaches. So at some point I had a triathlon coach, but now I don't have that. I have a different kind of wellness coach now that is in alignment with how I want to live my life, because I found that yoga is better for me than triathlon, for example, the way my body works. So it's just, we have to know ourselves, we have to share what we know, and we're here to help you, and we can't wait to share more episodes. This is just number 2. Oh my
Yeah.
god, this is
And
like a movie already.
I know, right, right. And if you have, let's say you're one of those out there who really have something that you want to hear from us, you have something that you would love us to share, a topic that you would love us to talk about, feel free to drop us a line in one of the comments or send us a message. You can find us all over the social media. So that's out there. And I didn't say social medias because I don't know who says medias is plural of media. Media is plural of media. So with that,
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Very conscious about that. So find us on social media. We're everywhere. Doc Rio. I'm Neni Carolina Chacin. You can find Neni Chacin everywhere as well. We create content. We share. Share the video. Share, like, comment. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you don't
yes.
like, and tell us how we can improve as well. Because we're here to grow as well. And when we grow, you grow. And I know that it's going to be amazing this year. So I wish you the best. If you're watching this in the replay, we recorded this at the beginning of 2022, but this is timeless. And I hope that you have an amazing day, the rest of the day and the week and the month and the year, and you get to maximize and optimize your potential and this is Neni and Doc.
This is Doc.
We're out.
She said it.